Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I am making a video about all of the different things that I'm bringing to Japan. All of the gaming things, all of the hobby things, just different tools, supplies that I'm gonna need to make and do a bunch of things when I'm there. So I am moving to Japan. I'm not going on vacation there, and so I wanna bring a lot of things that will save me time, money, hassle, all of that. And yeah, I guess I can just dig into it and kind of get into why I'm bringing these things, why I'm not just buying them there. I think starting out with the hobby things, hobby supplies, the first thought that a lot of folks probably would have is, okay, you're going to Japan, it's like the plastic modeling hobby capital of the world. Why wouldn't you just buy stuff there? Well, a lot of the stuff's really expensive. I already have the stuff, and some of the stuff, believe it or not, is a little tricky to find there. Most of this not, but I'll get into it when I go in depth. But anyway, just starting off, I have some Infinity model sanding paper, which is one thing I actually would buy in Japan. The only reason I'm packing this is because it's flat. It takes up almost no space, and it goes with this file set, which I just picked up recently and I love. So basically you put a sticky back cutout piece of sandpaper on it, and you can file all different unique shapes that most common files won't fit. Some God hand sponges. I got these in a Secret Santa this Christmas, so kind of bringing those. It's nice to have fresh sponges, even though they're readily available in Japan. Part separator, that's just for convenience. God hand pin vise, as well as a bunch of different bit sets. Those are kind of expensive, so again, that's like one of the main things. These SAB chisels with their holders, that's something else that's expensive. I don't want to just be rebuying this when I already have it. Hobby knife, it's just, I've gone through a bunch and I like this one. A Hasegawa scribe. It's not super expensive, but I like it and I'm used to it. Just some basic files. These are things that are small and I can just jam in a case. Paint stirrers, again, could easily rebuy, but they're small. God hands, not cheap, so definitely don't want to buy a new pair when I'm in Japan. Again, this is a fresh one that I got for a Secret Santa this year as well, so excited to bust that out. This is a very specific scribe tape that I've had trouble tracking down a little bit from HiQ Parts. I really love it, so I don't want to go digging for it in a million shops or trying to buy it and order it to my apartment. I figured it's tiny, I'll bring it. The Amazing Cutter. Crazy expensive. This thing will cut through pretty much anything. Not really pretty much anything, plastic, but any kind of styrene up to super thick plot plate. It'll cut right through it like butter. It's amazing. The best tool, hobby tool I've ever bought outside of an airbrush. Okay, gloves. This is a super weird thing. I'm super specific about the gloves that I like to use, and I actually was planning on making a video specifically about gloves, and I had gone through maybe like 10 pairs of gloves. There was an old kind of glove I used to get that they don't make anymore. I was able to get during COVID and not after that. And it felt like you were wearing nothing on your hands. It was amazing. Then I tried a million different pairs and I could not operate the airbrush wearing them. It felt like trying to airbrush with my hands tied behind my back, or just like wearing mittens or something. It was awful. So I tested a ton, like 10 plus different brands and sizes of gloves. And weirdly enough, I finally found a pair that I really like. I should say like a brand that I really like, and it just happens to be Target brand. So I don't think I'm gonna find those in Japan. And although I can get gloves, because I'm super picky, I figured let me just bring them if they fit. I haven't yet seen it. I'm pretty sure everything here fits based on how much space I have left, but yeah, that's something I would probably cut if it didn't fit. My respirator, because a new respirator is A, expensive, and B, the respirators themselves off gas, the plastic mouthpiece kind of stinks for the first few months that you get it, and I'm really sensitive to smells like that, so I'm bringing my own with fresh filters on it, of course. just some small stuff like tweezers, brush, just some pipettes to get me started in case I have trouble finding them, which I doubt I will. My Tamiya airbrush, Iwata airbrush cleaning brush. So this is a fiberglass brush that I've started using recently, and it's been a game changer in terms of cleaning my airbrush. And Tamiya hobby saw for cutting and modifying kits. And also, I'm checking all of this stuff in my check luggage, so I'm not trying to like go on the plane with all these blades and stuff. But one thing I actually forgot are these two God hand files, which are super expensive. They're like $35 each or something like, I don't know, 25, 35. They're really freaking expensive files, and they will last you forever. But I don't want to rebuy them because they're super expensive. So I don't know if I hit everything. There's just some little stuff like replacement blades, small things that'll save me money. And that's it for the hobby stuff. Obviously not bringing any liquids, flammables, because that stuff's tricky to bring on the plane. And also it's just nice to have fresh paints and, you know, thinners and weathering material. So I'm just gonna buy that at hobby shops in Japan. So I'm gonna hop over to the video game stuff now. Well, first I'll just finish up hobby stuff. I've got my 3 Iwata airbrushes, the HP CS Eclipse, the HP C Plus, and the Revolution, which is like a nice wide 0.5 that I use for priming and things like that. All my airbrush cleaning supplies and some extra needles. My Switch, starting the video game stuff. Well, actually, wait. I'm also bringing my cutting mat because it's flat. It fits at the bottom of my suitcase. And again, just like my respirator, off-gassing from different kinds of plastics can really bother me and give me migraines. And my apartment is tiny. When I bought this Mr. Hobby cutting mat, it stunk up our whole apartment, which is about 4 or 5 times the size of the apartment that I am going to be living in. So it would probably smell way worse in that tiny room. So I'm bringing one that's already off-gassed so I don't die of the world's worst migraine when I'm in Japan. Okay, that's all the hobby stuff. Moving on, my Switch, I'm bringing it because 1, it's a region-free console, and 2, it's a handheld, so I can play it on the plane and traveling about and all of that stuff. Bringing just a couple games. So first we've got, let's see if I can focus, Digimon Cyber Sleuth. So that's a game, recently I've just kind of been on like a little Digimon kick. I played it a few years ago, but kind of fell off it because it was really long, but I've just been itching for it. I might play it on the plane. Dragon Quest 11, that's another one that I started playing, and actually that one, I loved the demo. And then I think, sorry, I'll put these back later because I'm having trouble. I love the demo, but then when I actually bought the game, it made you, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering right, it made you play through all of the demo stuff again, and it kind of burned me out. So I didn't get too far into it. Next, we have Pokken Tournament. I don't know why, I was just randomly thinking about this game the other day, and sometimes on a flight you want to play like a long RPG or something, but sometimes you want to play something really quick and simple that you can just play a few rounds of, or I don't know, like 15 minutes of, and this seemed like the perfect game. And same thing, I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z lately, not Kai, but the original, and yeah, it just got me thinking about Dragon Ball, and it's another fun just pick up and play game. I don't play competitively, just against the computer, but it's just fun for me to play with my favorite Dragon Ball characters and just kind of goof around. So that's that one. All of my streaming stuff, my RetroTink 5X, my AverMedia 4K capture card, my RetroTink remote, and then just some various like HDMI cables, converters, things like that, power supplies. And that's so I can both capture footage, maybe stream. I don't really plan on streaming, but it's mostly to capture and then also to hook my retro consoles up to the TV that my apartment comes with because I got a furnished apartment, and hopefully it won't look like crap. With the 5X, I know it won't. The thing looks amazing. My 3DS. So I bought this recently. I don't think I've ever talked about it in a video, but my old 3DS XL randomly got dust under the screen that I could not fix without totally doing a teardown, which it also had like circle pad issues, so I figured I'd get a new one. I always had my eye on this, and I found a pretty decent deal. Thankfully, I bought this maybe like 2-3 years ago because the price is insane now. But this is mint. It was advertised as never used, and it was definitely never used. It's gorgeous. The screen looks amazing. It's a new 3DS XL. It's just gorgeous. So I'm bringing that with a couple of 3DS games. One more note on the 3DS, it's not region free, but the DS function is region free, so I can play all the import DS games that I want. Okay, so that said, moving on to the games. Dragon Ball Z, Attack of the Saiyans, an amazing RPG, probably the best, definitely the best Dragon Ball RPG, one of the best Dragon Ball games. Etrian Odyssey Nexus, I really want to beat this game, so I might play that on the plane. Project X Zone, never played it, it's been in my backlog forever. I love that the dot hack characters are in there, so I kind of want to give this a shot, just kind of fool around with it. My Japanese Coach, this game is really basic, and my Japanese has kind of surpassed this game at this point, but it's the first thing I ever did in my whole Japanese learning journey was buy this game, and I bought the Remembering the Kanji book by, I think, Heisig. And so I'm actually just super nostalgic for this game, the music in this game. I don't know, it's really weird to be nostalgic for an educational game, but I am, so I might just goof around in it a little bit. It really reminds me of the time when I first started dreaming of moving to Japan, which I'm doing now, which is crazy. And then again, I mentioned I was on a Digimon kick, so this is Digimon World Dusk. Lily got this for me, I think a few Christmases ago, or maybe it was a birthday. I think it was Christmas. And I never played it, and I'm on a Digimon kick, so that's that. My Game Boy case, which is really dirty because it's one I had when I was a kid. Let's see what I've got in here. I think it's just some extra batteries, and this is hard to do with one hand, but I've got my gorgeous pink modded Game Boy Color with a copy of Pokemon Green in it, which I do play as a way of studying Japanese. And then my modded Fuchsia Game Boy Advance with a Japanese copy of Fire Red, which I also play to study Japanese. And a Game Boy Advance to GameCube link cable. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? And it fit in the case, so I figured why the heck not bring it. Actually, I do remember what's in here. It's a couple, I'm making a mess. Couple games, Castlevania, Circle of the Moon, and Advance Wars. These are two games that I had been playing recently, and who knows if I'll pick them up, but I figured they don't take up space, so let me bring them. Okay, this is probably the craziest thing I am bringing, but I want to play Phantasy Star Online with Lily when I'm in Japan and she's here on private servers. So I happen to have just a couple GameCubes. This is so funny. I happen to have a couple GameCubes with broadband adapters, multiple copies of Phantasy Star Online, the whole setup. And actually, I have this, but I've actually got a copy of a GameCube Shark board, which is a keyboard that was made by Game Shark back in the day, and it hooks up into your second controller slot. And it's basically just a regular USB keyboard with an adapter, but that way we can both play and type and chat with each other if we're not using Discord, which realistically we probably will just use Discord voice chat or something like that. but kind of fun. I also use this to just communicate with other players if I was not to be playing with Lily. So there's that. And then here I've just got my GameCube with one controller, regular controller, S-video cables because I'm gonna leave the component cables here. And this is a modded GameCube with the, oh gosh, I forget the name of the card, but it's the mod that uses an SD card in the high-speed port and a memory card with an SD adapter, and it lets me play imports with an action replay disc, so I can play GameCube imports, which is freaking awesome. And that's it. So yeah, sorry, I didn't even talk about it. I'm only bringing one game, which is Phantasy Star Online Episode 3, because I actually have an episode of PSO Plus on the SD card in this GameCube, so I don't need to bring the disc, but I don't have episode 3 on there. So anyway, so that's a long video, but this is all the stuff that I'm bringing to Japan. And before you ask, yes, I am actually bringing clothes. Most of the stuff I'm bringing is like clothes and important things like toiletries, money, blah, 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 like important regular people things. But this stuff is all super important to me, and it would be super expensive to repurchase a lot of it. And yeah, I just figured I'd save myself the effort. Since I am actually moving there, I'm going to be there for quite a long time. So yeah, that's what I'm bringing to Japan. I hope you guys like this video. Do you think I'm crazy for bringing all this stuff instead of just buying it in Japan? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, and also if you could subscribe, and then if you do subscribe, definitely hit the bell icon so we don't get completely crushed by the algorithm. But in all seriousness, thank you guys so much for watching if you watched to the end, and appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.